Okay. Hello everyone. We are getting ready for our first opponent. If I was asked, why am I punching Gavin? It is because I am, playing with Gavin. And I've disconnected. Oh no. Ball. Okay, so hopefully we have reconnected properly. I am still learning how to do this. It is my first time, entering a tournament in quite some time. So I think I am gonna go ahead and make a duel room. Let's see if that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Create a room. Change it over to Rush Duel. Casual works just fine. And we need to turn off recruit spectators. Enter a comment, that is fine. Welcome, M. How are you doing today? Copy room ID. Okay. So I'm communicating with my opponent over in the web browser. Hopefully they are joining in a moment. I'm up against Alice in Borderland. And it should be just a couple of minutes until we begin. Sorry for the delay. Bum, bum. Welcome, Bruno. Hope you are having a good day. I should probably queue into this. And let's see. Hopefully my opponent shows up soon. I definitely recognize their name. I think I've seen them around somewhere before. Oh, and here they go. I will go ahead and send them the challenge, and we can see how it goes. I don't know if this is an open deck list event. Decks. Decks are not publicly viewable. Okay. They are in Rookie, so they have definitely not played Rush in a while. However, do not let that, fool you. If they are on a Mimi, they could be playing any number of pretty interesting decks. We do see they, are using a... Oh, sorry, Strike Force. There was some lag. Okay, so my opponent is starting off with a set 4, and actually a full set 5. We unfortunately opened both of our Seahorse carriers, and no bosses. So the best we can do is set 5 as well. End turn. I'm gonna go check on the Twitch stream, make sure it's actually functioning. By the way, sorry about everything being a minute or two behind. Okay, so my opponent draws for turn, but what skill are they using? My first thought would be something like Disco Fever, but if they're using an archive skill, maybe it is some kind of Red Eyes variant. We see Ansler. A bit of a surprising inclusion, for sure. Okay, and here comes a Flame Cerberus. Could it be Servant of Dawn? My iconic deck. I don't see a need to keep any of these monsters around, so I won't be activating the recital here. We draw, and hopefully we can start outing this board. Unfortunately, we don't find anything useful. So, once again, we are forced to just set a bunch of cards and end our turn. Let's pass it back over to Alice one more time. Yeah, so I am playing in Grand Harry's tournament, and Engineer asking what is a maximum summon. So, if you're familiar with Exodia the Forbidden One, it is kind of similar. You need to acquire all 3 cards, and then you are able to maximum summon your monster, which is going to be basically a giant 4,000 attack point monster that your opponent has a lot of trouble dealing with. Okay. So, unfortunately for us, we now draw a bunch of cards we can't actually use. However, it's not over yet. Urashima, activate the skill, Power of Determination, Shield and Sword, set Majesty, and we can try to swing in. The issue here is, obviously Widespread Ruin is going to be a huge pain. However, they don't activate it. So we get in for a huge hit, 4,300 with the Urashima. And we have plenty of trap cards to protect ourselves. Let's see how it goes. I need to maintain internet connection though. I have such a good board. Oh no. Okay, we are still playing, it looks like. They enter the battle phase, but here's our first trap. Sword and Shield is going to switch the attack and defense, and let me recur my card. They're down to just 200 life points, and we're not done yet. We can activate Recital to stop the other attack. And, of course, Celtic Guardian with 1400 is not going to be able to deal with Urashima. So, they just go ahead, swing in, and finish game number 1. I will report game 1 as a win. And we'll go on to game number 2. Engineer, no, I never have had the chance to try French tacos. Based on what you were telling me though, they seem pretty good. I would like to try them sometime. So I'm sending my opponent the game 2 request. If I'm doing it right. As far as I know, there shouldn't be any form of side decking, so I don't know what they're waiting for. Justin does have a good point. Maximum summoning with 30 card decks should be a little bit more consistent than in the traditional 40 card Rush Duel format. However, it is still a little bit challenging to get all of the cards you need. For example, Currybot was not super useful in the original formats, even with the 10 cards fewer in the deck. And that requires drawing 2 of the 3. I don't know where my opponent is. Oh, maybe it was an issue. Okay. And after whatever glitch that was, we are starting. I'm sorry, Blitzforce. I am in a tournament, which means I'm not really able to play other games at the current moment. Maybe afterwards, though. Alright, so we are up first, and we actually have a pretty decent opener. Let's just go 1, 2, set, and I'm pretty sure they're on Gaia. So finding 2 monsters capable of clearing a Kime ruler should be pretty difficult. We just summon it out and pass. And let's see what they do. Thank you, Ironiclast, for the support. Okay, here comes Celtic Guardian. Currybot, and a set card. Surely a boss monster is coming in over this Currybot. Otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. Dark Magician. Are they gonna try to swing in and crash? That's interesting. I think I'm actually okay with this. I'd rather them have 1 fewer monster on the board. And now it is our turn. We can make a push back. Summon the goat and another one. Yami Ruler for sure. Now the thing is, I'm not convinced we want to even delay directive. I'd rather start just getting in there with my monsters. Urashima can come in, and it'll be boosted up to 2800. So even if my opponent has a widespread ruin, they'll kill the weak monster instead of the one that I care about. Swing in. And that was actually a little bit of a misplay. I should have swung with Yami Ruler first, as if they had a Music Princess recital, I would have been able to deal a little bit more damage with Urashima. They go for the Advanced Burst draw, revealing their skill. But it isn't turn 10, so they aren't going to get Blue Eyes White Dragon. And whatever random normal monster that they're adding to their hand probably isn't able to take out the Yami Ruler. Oh, welcome, Rex and Toy. Now has a skill who turns 0 mil 3 cards. Yeah, I do enjoy the Femtron reveal. Alright, they're bringing in their own Yami Ruler. However, that's actually not going to be good enough on its own. We know that there is a level 7 or higher normal monster in the hand, so they're going for the delay directive, but Urashima the Hermit is already able to get over it. As long as our internet holds out. Okay, it's our move. Draw a card. Let's activate our skill, and assuming this is all we need, we will set some more for defense, and now we're ready to go. Urashima swings in, and we finish game number 2. We will report game 2 as a win. And that is it for round 1 of the event, I think. Which means oh, there are actually members in here. Who else is here? Oh, Harrier. Apparently, I might have been on stream. I don't know. I win with this, and we are good to go. Which means, I think, until the next round starts, do we just watch whatever Harrier's doing? I think that makes sense. There are definitely a lot of matches that are not complete. I am still getting familiar with how this all works. Let's see if I can't pull it up, though. Go over to Duel Links on Twitch. Then I head over to Harrier's stream. Pause the music. And, currently being advertised to. And then we go over to the web browser. And hey, it's me. But it is buffering. Yeah, so they weren't able to use the blue eyes because it was not turn 10.
Come on! I thought the skill changed if you were like lower life points. Okay, well, never mind. We're never getting to turn. Come on, buff that skill, Konami. Well, regardless, that was hilarious, and I look forward to.
I'm moving the wrong thing.
Progress to the rest of the tournament.
Boop. Okay. So let's see. I assume this is the best way for me to know when the next round has started.
You got absolutely no, I don't think anybody expected that deck. So don't worry. I think that would have happened to most people because they'd be wondering what the hell their opponent's doing.
Yeah, so Harrier has a good point. I definitely am running a pretty unpopular deck. And that is part of what I'm going for, is the surprise factor. A lot of people don't really know what the skill or cards do. And it has some good advantages. For example, my boss monsters are pretty strong against Shield and Sword, which I'm expecting a lot of people to be running. and I run enough spell and trap cards where a single Hammer Crush usually isn't going to be enough to stop me from protecting myself. So,
As I go ahead and do that.
here we see the next match underway. Oh, and Rex, I am doing just fine. Pretty excited to finally be competing in an event. Wait, but hold on. Let me bring in the chat. Web browser. Okay. So, Magician's Shuffle, Siren's Exile Road is actually pretty threatening here. The Magician's Valkyria protecting their other boss monster
Tournament as well. Nice to see you.
is pretty strong.
Haven't seen you in a bit.
Though, I guess we could go do a round on the ladder while we wait for round 2 to start. But I'd rather not get disqualified because I missed the second round starting. Which is why we are just going to be watching. Unless anyone has a better idea for how I can stay up to date with the tournament while also playing games. How long is each round anyway? If we go over to bracket, maybe that'll tell us. Oh, it lists a time here, but it isn't showing. Likely because of how poor the internet connection actually is. Let me see if there's anything I can do to fix it. Says I'm connected. Okay, so this one starts at 2, of course. And then, is there a list? Okay, so rounds are 50 minutes. So we finished our games pretty quickly. It looks like there is still probably like half an hour until the next one starts. However, I think if they finish all of the matches early, we probably do end up starting the round early as well. Let me see if I can find the rule on that. Oh, Duel needs to have 5 spots. For streamer and moderator, okay. I think that's fine. Create a new duel room for each match. Oh, I should probably head out of here then. So, leave room. And then I can go make a new one. Oh, and we're being advertised too. Wait, why is it such a long ad break? Oh no. Time in round. And yeah, you can see how confusing it is when the site is not loading properly. No matches found, but I had a match. So we are struggling through learning how this works. Okay, so they rebranded. Match 1 is complete. So we can see here, there are still 2 matches in progress. But that's not a whole lot. So I wonder how many of these people we recognize. Whistling Bird is definitely in plenty of servers. Disturbia and Zaga Zaga, I think, are both speed duel players. Oh, Voltalon losing is very surprising. Volt is a pretty strong player. And then Gozu, I know, is a prominent speed duel player. Back when I was running events for Duel Links, I do recognize their name. They were in every event. Welcome, Riv. I see you are stream sniping. I do wish that it was kind of just open deck lists, so I wouldn't have to worry about people learning about my deck via the stream. But hopefully it's not too big of an issue. It only really matters on the first turn of game 1 anyway. So that's fine. Out of curiosity, are there other people watching the streams as well? Okay, Rukarin, of course. I'm pretty sure they are like a mod. Renegade in my server. Infi, another very prominent rush dueler. And then Marco, of course, is in every server. Pretty sure Duel is another top 20 player. And then I don't recognize oh, well, Riv, of course. And Shelmy. Shelmy got a bye. Very well. Let's refresh one more time and see what's going on over in the stream. Or the Discord. Doesn't seem like there's anything new for announcements. So we can go back here. Okay, or maybe we can't. Oh, nerd, why are you getting ads though? I'm not even an affiliate. Oh, or maybe nerd, I forgot that I'm like several minutes behind, so maybe they meant the Grand Harrier ads.
A lot of people, they just jam all the stuff that they have, so that is to be expected. But for it to only actually be about a third of today's entrance is kind of surprising. That is a...
So aggro, they're talking about the meta split.
Spellcasters have been on the rise. We've already saw that. This is more Yami rulers than usual, and I would say a little bit more Aqua aggro than usual. There's a lot more
So I would say the Yami rulers are probably in a little bit of decline because of the introduction of stuff like Acebreaker, being able to special summon over the Yami ruler and then clear it with 3500. But if people are expecting a lot of aggro, then the rise in Yami ruler makes sense. I mean, it's only 4 players. I almost read it myself. And Shield and Sword is another good reason to be running Yami ruler. Okay.
I wouldn't even necessarily say there's been that much specific testing. I think it is people kind of settling on the decks that they like for this format. You know, nobody's going to try anything crazy with an upheaval coming with the next release. So it's a lot of comfort picks for people.
So that 3900, but if the Torn is in the graveyard, they're not going to be able to deal the damage they need. This is where a monster reincarnation would have been huge. Being able to switch that Grace Princess over to attack mode would have been pretty devastating. But they do only have a few cards left in the deck. So Dark Sorcerer not attacking there. If Ash is confirmed to be on a card like Ghost Cyclone, not clearing out the whole board does make sense to keep your own traps safe.
Japanese Rush players lately. That makes sense. A lot of players like Xiaomi also play in those same tournaments, along with yourself, Duan. I see you in a lot of those. So it would make sense that
Let me just bring that open as well. Okay, but anyway, back here. Wait, need to make sure it's not playing.
So maybe not this particular version.
Pause.
But I am
Where's the pause button? Okay.
trying to settle on a deck that I personally enjoyed the most during the Rush Duel format. It was Red Eyes Royal Rebels.
So the Red Eyes Rebels is a pretty interesting deck. However, with the introduction of Shield and Sword, I'm not sure I would be bringing Rebels to an event. Just because that 0 defense is a huge liability. Especially since you do often end with only 1 or 2 monsters on board anyway. So you're already still vulnerable. Okay, yeah, VT, I got the 3-minute ad. Probably because I'm not even logged in over on Twitch. So, they probably want me to watch as many ads as possible.
Red Eyes Yami Ruler.
Oh,
That's also a good version. I would say those are probably 2 of my favorites. Just because I think the Red Eyes skill is actually an incredibly well-designed one for Rush.
yeah, so the Red Eyes being able to recur itself is actually a really good boost for the Yami Ruler deck. The main issue that I have playing with Rulers is that you only have the 6 boss monsters. So Red Eyes Black Dragon being able to turn 3 low-level monsters into high-level monsters means you get to play 9 bosses, and you're able to not brick because you're really only running 7. Or actually, it's 10 bosses, because Red Eyes and the 3 chicks.
How are you doing, my friend?
Okay,
Well,
so if
don't
this
you worry.
group is done, looks like Dono is still waiting.
Am I going to do a big Rush tournament for Max release?
Oh, yeah. I'm only supposed to be on a 2-minute delay, but it looks like it went up to a 3-minute one.
Oh my god.
Maybe if I stop and start the Twitch stream again, that will help. I'm gonna keep the YouTube one live, of course, but I can just toggle the switch on and off. And maybe that'll help.
Shite show that one was.
Um,
How do you do a repairable game state? You activate prosperity.
oh, it looks like everyone's done. Is round 2 paired?
Pop, your opponent chains Veiler. You negate the Veiler, which is negating the activation. You then
Yami Ruler sucks versus spellcasters because they don't care if they have Seven's Road.
illegal.
Oh, like the witch? Yeah.
You can't do because you're under prosperity. You draw 2, shuffle your hand.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, we can repair that. No, you can't. How do you repair that?
I just need to make sure I'm not missing the check-in. Okay, see, it's a good thing I refreshed.
Different.
Oh no, I'm fighting Renegade.
We're gonna squint
How rude.
to see if we can see what card he had in his hand. Like,
Uh.
don't change the rules for a feature match. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, I know this is a Rush Duel tournament. This is bro.
Anyway, I'll go make a room.
I don't how.
Rush duels. Recruit spectators is off. Confirm.
Dice roll and chose to play first. He started with Diviner of the Herald, using its effect to send Saphira, Dragon Queen of the Voiceless Voice.
I'm gonna focus on my own games now. Check in. And let's turn our music back on. So, for those of you not familiar, Renegade is an incredible player. They are almost certainly going to be on Disco Fever today. I think they made it not quite in the top 100 of the Rush Festival, but we've played against each other before. They have probably tested every single deck in the format. And I think they are the only other player where I could pull up a random skill and they'd be able to tell me what it does. Whether it's Curse of the Dark, Power Determination, all these skills that nobody has ever played against, Renegade has probably tried building. So let's see how it goes. Event notifications. Round 2 is up. And we are just waiting for them to show on up. And hopefully we're going to be able to take the win. I'm sure Renegade is on something good. Bum, 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 bum. So let's switch back over to the Duel Links view. And we'll hop into the room. And hopefully it goes well. Do I think they're gonna make each of the maximum monsters? You are. Probably just the middle pieces. Would be my guess. Though, whether the other pieces will be SRs or normals or rares, I couldn't tell you. But I think 3 URs would just be way too expensive. I don't see Renegade saying anything, but they have checked in. So they're probably on the way. Oh, and there they are. Good luck, Renegade. Yeah, I should probably put in info that I'm on a 3-minute delay. Info. To 3 minutes. Okay. Just so anyone who joins in is able to notice. Let's close out of Grand Harrier stream so it's not trying to spend any bandwidth on that. And my opponent starts off with a set. Our hand would be pretty solid going first. But we don't really have any offensive prowess here. Should be summoning, and we know they are on Torna, which is quite threatening. We don't have any method of getting over this. Our babysitter goat is able to go to 14, but that's not enough. So all we can really do here is go ahead and set what we can. Now, obviously, we're trying to play around the Torna as much as possible. So we're putting the ones with the best attack stats that we have. And we'll see how it goes. As long as they don't flip over the babysitter, I think we shouldn't be taking too much damage this turn. Here comes a Kanon. And one good thing to note is that a lot of these monsters do have 0 defense. So if they swing in, we might be able to get them. As long as we don't get hit by a hydration. Obviously, it wouldn't be enough to clear over everything. A second Torna is pretty devastating. Let's just see how it goes. Obviously, we have to use the trap on Babysitter. Disco Fever, boosting this up, makes a lot of sense. And so what we're really hoping for is the Kanon into the Babysitter, as that would minimize the damage we take. We could stop this, but I'd rather clear a Torna, I think. Well, actually, this is a 1400 debuff, which is significantly higher. No, I'd rather keep this around. Okay, we'll take the damage. Because we don't want to take a full 16, so we're going to use Sword and Shield here. Clear out the Torna, because it's a bigger threat. And now we only take 200. And they actually choose to clear the Harpy Lady, recognizing that the Babysitter Goat is only going to be a 1400 or a 0 attack threat on the next turn, which is pretty smart. We do have a Urashima here, which is nice. Let's go ahead and grab our 2800 King. And then set this. And do we want to clear out this in a trade? Or do we just want to set some more monsters? I think we do need to pare down the board a little bit if we can. So let's go like this. And then is it widespread? That is a big question. It is not. Obviously if it's like recital, we really don't care. But it seems to be some kind of spell card. However, Triple Threat Thunder doesn't really do anything. If our Urashima the Hermit already has 0 attack. They are down 2 boss monsters, plus 2 Torna. So even though we have a 0 attack monster here, hopefully we are somewhat safe. Unfortunately, with Disco Fever, all of their normal summons can become pretty strong. Welcome, Ian. And yes, we are in Grand Harrier's event. It's a pretty even game so far. But, we can expect to be taking around 2,000 damage this turn. And of course they have the monster reincarnation. Renegade is one of the few players not on Shield and Sword. And that is a bad matchup for me. Part of the reason I chose this deck was because of how well it does against the Shield and Sword legend card. Fashion of Faith is coming down. And Hydration is going to be able to destroy the King's Majesty, which I desperately needed to protect my life points. Now they have a full direct attack able to come into the Urashima. And that is 2,100 damage. Whereas previously I'd be taking 18 and keeping Ikana around. Though, one thing to note is that they use a Hydration from their hand, which means that the spell card from the previous turn is still here. Let's draw. Recital. That's not super promising. I think I'm just gonna set my hand here. I could summon the Harpy Lady, but I don't think clearing over Fashion of Faith is really that worth it. Urashima, probably want to set this. I'll put it over here. And we can pass. They should only have 1 Dion Keto left, and I don't think Renegade has spent money, so Torn of the Windweaver is gone. They assuredly do not own a 3rd copy. Here comes the other Hydration. Unfortunately, once again, going to destroy my Recital. But 2 Hydration is probably the maximum they are running. So that is worth something on its own. I am expecting my board to be cleared here. Though actually they might struggle. If they don't have the 3rd Dion Keto, no, with Growl, they are now going to be able to do it. Okay. Everything here clears everything on my board, and the new set card could even be Widespread Ruin. So we need to be careful. Now, one thing that is worth noting is their entire board has 0 defense. Whenever we draw into Shield and Sword, it could be a good turn for us. Interesting. Now, how do I want to play this? Does Growl lower defense? It does. Okay. Well, what if we just summon? 2,500 plus 12 is not a whole ton. However, if we just tribute set the Yami Ruler, we shouldn't be killed. I'm thinking if we go like this, there's a good chance it can survive a turn in defense mode. And they shouldn't have a hydration anymore. So let's go with tributing 1 plus 2. We just go for a tribute set. And throw this down as well. And now we can end turn. So the plan is, if Yami Ruler survives, that gives us a ton of opportunity to make a big push on the next turn. Without them being able to respond with a Triple Threat Thunder, that ends the game. My internet is looking kind of rough. But I hope it maintains. Because I think I'm actually in a pretty good spot. No disconnect, please. Okay, so Renegade is actually spending a ton of time thinking, which is their signature trait. Renegade has definitely played much more, or spends a lot longer thinking than most people I'm familiar with. But they'd managed to draw into the Boogie Master, which is unfortunate for my lifespan. They are gaining extra life and everything. And the big issue here, of course, is that the Boogie Master is going to be able to Disco Fever, boost, and start inflicting some major damage to my board state. I guess I should have kept a 1400 around. But I'm not sure if yeah, I could have actually. I attributed a Babysitter Goat when I didn't need to. So if this was a 1400 instead, the Disco Fever boosting over this would have meant that they wouldn't have been able to clear, but now they can, and I take 1200 damage, which is unfortunate. That is a huge misplay. Let's draw for turn. We do draw Urashima. So maybe this is our chance to make a big push. I'm pretty sure they have Widespread Ruin though, which is kind of unfortunate for us. I don't see many other routes though. I could wait one more turn if I really wanted to. So this is 4800, but it probably gets destroyed is the issue. Huh. Still, I think it's the right play. Seahorse Carrier, let's go here. We'll add you. Kana. And then Yami Ruler. Oh wait, but they have a Triple Threat Thunder, don't they? Yeah, if their set card is Triple Threat Thunder, I'm actually in a lot of danger. Since I'm not going to actually be able to finish off the game. No, because then we're going to lose it. Okay, let's just pass here. Right, but they keep gaining life points. That's actually a bit of an issue as well. Okay, so they're heading into battle. They are going to clear out my lower ones. Because unfortunately, I didn't get a 1400 to protect myself. Wait, no, did I do it again? I did. I attributed the Grace Princess. That's a bit of an issue. Okay, but this is what I was looking for. Let's Carrier. Activate the effect. Add you. Summon. Unfortunately, this is kind of awkward. Oh, but if they have the widespread, I can't actually win. Because now I'm just gonna deck out. Yeah, unfortunately they have it. Because after the widespread, I don't have enough cards in my deck. That sucks. Unfortunately, Renegade is going to take game number 1. I shouldn't have set the 2 Piercing Samurai. Oh, and I'm frozen. But yeah, here comes widespread, and that'll do it. Unfortunate. I misplayed, however, so this loss is mine to hold. If I had the extra 2 cards, well, even if I had the extra 2 cards in my deck, I would be hit by, oh no, did I disconnect? That's awful. Oh, I did indeed disconnect. Oh, and okay. Here we go. We're trying number 2. Alright, hopefully things go better this time. Welcome, Tomato. Here we go. Game number 2. Are we going to be able to beat over the Disco Fever? Interesting start. Would really like to see a trap card here, though. We know they're running Hydration, and Shield and Sword is such a valuable resource. I'm almost tempted to not even use it. Or to not even set it down. However, I think I should. Now, do I summon Kime Ruler? The question is whether or not they're going to get access to a Growl or a Dianketo. I feel like they probably do, though. So, with that in mind, we are going to pass. And let's see how it goes. On their turn. We do have a couple of 1400s, so our board hopefully stays at least a little bit safe. And as long as they don't open the Hydration, we can make a huge push next turn. Even if they set and don't summon anything in attack mode, we do have a Kime Ruler to kind of counteract their strategy. Oh, so Viv was on stream for this round. That's great. Sounds like they won, so congratulations. Okay, they're starting with a Kana in attack mode, which makes me think they probably do have the Hydration, which is obviously a huge disappointment for me. Oh, actually, they summoned the Dianketo right away. Seahorse Carrot. Do they have a second boss monster? Disaster. Or maybe they're just boosting up the sides. Let's find out. And it is Hydration. Huge disappointment There goes my free win. Of course, 1400 is not actually enough to clear unless they hit a 1 in 3. But they do. Somehow, they managed to find it. That said, we aren't out of this just yet. Let's go with our own Seahorse Carrier. Activate the effect. Grab ourselves a 1400. Summon it. We can ditch the Kime Ruler. And obviously, it's very easy to see how powerful Shield and Sword would have been here. Unfortunately, we have to just set the other two monsters and throw our face down. Next up, we definitely swing in to, so the thing is, Seahorse Carrier actually wouldn't be able to clear my defense position monsters, but I kind of want the extra damage. So let's go for it. I think there's a really good chance Lamoon ends up getting treated off anyway. So, here we know they are actually down a hydration. So as long as the second one doesn't come down, we should be able to maintain at least one of our monsters on the field. I mean, worst case scenario is like a Torna, that flips over our monster and causes some pain. But I'm not too worried about it. Let's see what Renegade draws. Unless it's something incredible, I should hopefully be okay. Fashion of Faith is actually one of those incredible cards, since I wasn't able to clear the Dion Kettle last turn, and then they immediately hydration me too. That is incredibly rough. They managed to draw the 2 spell and trap removal cards. I guess I could have kept the Shield and Sword around, and been in a better position last turn. But I am certainly on the back foot. And they even draw Torna. Like I said, this is nearly perfect for them. They drew everything they could have possibly wanted. And even another back row. And when we're facing down the Torna, I don't think there's anything we can really do here. We can summon the Urashima, but then we just take way too much because we don't have any actual traps to protect us. So I'll just give it to Renegade, and we'll wait for the next one. Tasks, I will give Renegade that one. Unfortunately, we are now 1-1. But we will go for them in the next one. Let's see, how long until the next round? I feel like that was a pretty long game 1. So there might be fewer in progress matches than we'd think. It is loading in. Oh, but it looks like there are actually a ton of matches still in progress. So I guess that means we are going back over to the Grand Harrier stream. Oh, and I should do that. Confirm. So they're probably watching me get blown up by Renegade's perfect hand. Renegade probably has said something over in here. Oh, okay. Or not. Bum, bum. Right, and let's turn off my music for now. Turn on this. And we'll see what they're doing.
Solomon, yes, but not against another maximum.
Unfortunately, since both of our rounds have been 2-0 win and 2-0 loss, there is a lot of waiting in between the rounds. So the Gavin got a nice turn 1 Ghost Cyclone, but they're running Umegumi, which I probably disagree with. I think if you want to deal with defense position monsters, the Fire Golem is probably a better choice. And Umegumi, being a 1 tribute monster, is kind of inconvenient. Obviously, it does work to lower attack as well, so it can be useful in the mirror match. But Fire Golem does it just as well. Interestingly, they swing in with a monster that lets them clear out the barrier early. Probably intentional.
I think the biggest question people have right now in regards to the new Rush content, more than anything, is what are they going to be putting in the next box? That's the real question. We know we're getting maximums, and that's cool, but what's everything else that they're putting in that box?
So, for box predictions,
Because I very much suspect they're both going to give us maximums and ways to deal with maximums.
yeah, so I was going to say, the Dark Magician deck might get Thousand Knives as a way to clear monsters, but Thousand Knives being just a straight free destroy is pretty strong. So we might end up also seeing it with a limit.
Excited for that?
Aquas are also one of the decks that don't really have a way to deal with the maximum monsters because
Ash winning game 1.
Triple Threat Thunder is only for level 8 and lower monsters. So the Aqua deck, even though it's very good right now, is going to fall off hard no matter where maximums are viable unless they get another new card of support. But I'm not really sure what they would give them either.
Well, because like we do know based on the skills or whatever that it is harpies are likely getting more support in general because if I'm not mistaken, one of the skills like mention
We see Umegumi to clear over the
harpy skill 1.
Kime Ruler. But I feel like if it's turn 1, you might want to even put the Kime Ruler in defense. I guess you don't want to because it's only 2,000 defense. And the Yami Ruler can run over it.
What are we talking about? What we're hoping
Thank you, Rex. I hope you have a good day as well. Guessing you are heading out.
to maximums.
And we actually see that Umegumi is putting in a ton of work here.
What are they giving to support Royal Rebel?
Yami Ruler using the effect is not a great plan, as they already have the ability to run right over it. But I guess if the Robo player is completely bricked, maybe they didn't have any other options. Yeah, you see, that's what I would have done last turn. Thunder the Thunder. Very strong board.
All right, Blackluster with the counterattack.
Yeah, and Rolla is out of there.
600 life points, but after that draw, we scoop it up.
Tomato in the chat over in Grand Harry is saying to release more Volt Condor cards. I do wonder if they will. So the Dark Sword Magician is a really recent card from the physical game, and Volt Condor is another deck that got recent support. So it's possible that they are going to bring it in. It looks like they are on a game 3. Starting off with a lone Red Eyes doesn't feel like a great plan, but it seems to have worked out with Blackluster not drawing any tribute monsters at all. However, a weak follow-up with no additional tribute monsters from Ash.
Right?
And here comes a huge swing turn. Unfortunately, no piercing samurai. So it definitely could have been better.
It's a 2000 attack.
I think that barrier probably could have been used on the Nondas attack
Field. It's gonna be
and left the robot player with an extra monster on board. Well, maybe not an extra monster, but it would have actually destroyed the Nondas.
4,500, and you get to change a battle position.
Battle Slash is going to destroy the monster reincarnation, unfortunately.
Tech IR.
But this is actually a pretty good board for Ash. I think it would be tough for Blackluster to summon enough things to get rid of it. And it looks like we have finally caught up to where we're in real time. Maybe, because I don't see the fast forward option. Black Dragon Rising, bringing in a potential triple boss board here. Pretty threatening. Even if they have a widespread ruin, it is going to be a tough board to crack. 2,400 and 2,500.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Rikarin.
What will they bring out? Okay, Talismanic, not a super common card. Not only do a lot of people probably not have it yet, since it is the new level up reward for Gavin, but it also is a little bit weaker than counterparts like Pakachu and Seahorse Carrier, because it doesn't actually go +1. So it's an interesting inclusion over in Blackluster's deck. If they're on pure celerity, they do have a slightly harder time getting over Yami Ruler, but here we see the Umegumi coming in clutch again, weakening the Yami Ruler, and Blackluster getting in for no damage due to the barrier protecting a Grace Princess. Yami Ruler one more time, but as before, yeah, Umegumi is going to block that.
We're gonna win by deck out.
Oh, and Blackluster is out of cards, meaning Ash manages a great comeback.
Recital.
How many rooms are still going? Oh, it looks like a lot of them. Oh, round 3 is actually starting.
Is gonna bring the round to an end. We will be moving into round number 3.
Assuming it loads,
Round 3 has begun.
I would like to play.
Will top. So if
Wait, it doesn't show anything.
that in mind,
Where am I? Okay, it shows it here. So maybe if I go here, I'll be able to play. Check in. And then head over here. And I can make a new room.
wake me up when Jersey are in dueling. That is all I want. Finish Persona 3. No.
I'll go ahead and join their room for sure. Oh, need to switch back to the Duel Links.
My design.
Close the stream, start up the music, and I hope you all are ready for round 3. Wait, but where did my match go? I lost the room code. Duel room. Enter. View match, and I think I should be okay now. Once this one loads in, head over to the chat, and there we go. Room ID, search. Bum, bum, bum. Alright. And here we go. Griffin Plays appears to be a Reigns enjoyer. I wonder what deck they are on. Oh, and welcome, Antrax. I agree, Rush Duels are the superior mode. And Justin, I think most of the decks are pretty fun, so I agree with that as well. Alright, so it looks like we did win a coin flip. But it's not like we have a ton to summon anyway. Actually, that could be pretty strong. let's set a couple of cards here. And then since we have the recital, I think it does make sense to bring in a Yami Ruler and save the Seahorse Carrier for a future turn. This does get punished a lot if my opponent is on Ultimate Bond and manages to just blow up the Yami Ruler. Or Barrel Dragon. Yeah, so an Acebreaker or Barrel Dragon coming in via Special Summon would be an issue, but they actually have a billion back row. I guess we are hoping for a Kime Ruler. Urashima the Hermit, I guess I'll take it. As long as I don't disconnect. Come on. Let me play. Throw this down for sure. Switch to attack mode. And I think... Do I need to stop streaming? If my internet's not going to work, I might need to. It is chugging along. Come on. We'll bring in one Urashima. And the other one I am probably gonna just keep in my hand. Let's activate Power of Determination. And what this is going to do is protect me from Widespread Ruin. Now, if they activate it, I'm losing a pretty weak monster instead of my Yami Ruler, which is much superior. They are indeed on Ultimate Bond, which I think means they shouldn't have any 1400s. They'd have a barrier face down though, or a recital. But we are getting in for the full 2800, it looks like. Off to a great start. As long as the internet connection stays intact, I think we have a good chance of winning this one. Ultimate Bond, of course, is being used. And we see an Acebreaker. But are they going to go for the effect? Surprisingly, they didn't shuffle away any of their 3 back row cards. Meaning they got rid of a card actually in their hand. Aim Eagle is going to weaken... Oh, nothing. They don't use the Light Sorcerer. But, of course, a giant Acebreaker is a bit of an issue. They are popping. And then I can at least mitigate the damage here. If I want to. Which I think I do. I am going to lose the monster, but 600 is way less than 3,500. So, let's see what we do. Another Yami Ruler. Huh. I'm pretty sure they have a barrier that they didn't use on a previous turn. Which is a little bit rough. So if I lose one to a barrier, and then also lose one to Acebreaker, I'm not going to be able to use Recital at all. Maybe I just try to lower the total amount of damage they can deal. Oh, Acebreaker can actually only destroy a face-up monster. So if I bring in the Yami Ruler in defense mode, I might be safe. Urashima is going to go down as well, I think. Or do I keep it? Because if I draw the shield and sword... No, I think I do want to set it. Okay, let's see how they deal with that. Acebreaker is not going to be able to clear over my monsters, or at least the Yami Ruler. If they can't, buff it. Light Sorcerer also doesn't work since I don't have any face-up monsters. Here comes Avant Wolf. I am expecting another tribute monster. Obviously, I would be in some danger if a Barrel Dragon comes in. That is the main issue. It is just a tough striker. 2500s are not going to be good enough. They do clear out the Hermit, of course. I could have used the Recital, but I didn't see a reason to. But if I draw multiple spell and trap cards here, it would have been a good reason to. Okay. So now I do have an issue where Acebreaker is able to just kind of run over my cards. Let's just set, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, not a ton I can do there. Acebreaker is gonna destroy the Yami Ruler for sure. I do have a couple of trap cards to protect my life points, but things are not going super well. We do see them actually get rid of another Acebreaker though, which is pretty interesting. One thing to note is we already have too many monsters in hand, so the recital doesn't really do much. I will use one just to have extra free space for spells and traps if I draw them. But I am also going to let them clear my board. And then what do we draw? Kime Ruler. We could swing over the Avant Wolf, which seems reasonable. Okay. Let's Seahorse Carrier, activate the effect. We're grabbing Kana, bringing it in, and then Kime Ruler and 2 set cards. So the Acebreaker is probably going to be able to destroy the Kime Ruler for free. But the idea is we have our trap cards that can protect us anyway. Let's swing into this one, forcing them to have a widespread ruin if they don't want to take the damage. It's just a barrier, but adding back an Amigal could be pretty useful. Or the Acebreaker itself. Extra boss monsters, always useful to have. We still don't have our shield and sword available to us. Welcome, Pilot. We are 1-1, but this game is probably not looking super great for us either. Acebreaker coming in again to destroy my monster for free. And I'm expecting the new set card to be the Widespread Ruin. I'm going to use my own Widespread here. Pop their Acebreaker. I get to keep monsters around, which is nice. Urashima the Hermit. Not seeming super great on its own. How do I maintain a board state? I mean, I could bring in the Celtic Guardian, I guess. And then set this. Battle. Let's try to beat over this. And we aren't able to. Okay. Interestingly, they didn't have anything that seemed like it was able to activate there. I don't think there's really a point in negating this attack. Okay. I could keep the Celtic Guardian alive, but also do I need to? 5 cards left. I've used 1, 2 Yami Rulers. I only have 1 2-tribute monster left in the deck. Yeah, I'd rather take the damage because I don't want to draw into more Babysitter Goats. I want to draw my actual good cards. Like this. Okay. Celtic Guardian. Then Urashima. Wait. Okay. Am I going to have 2 or 3 monsters at the end? I think just 2. We need to use the skill here. Buff this. Then, thing is, if they have the widespread, we kind of die. But also we deck out if we don't. So I think we just go for it and see if it works. Shield and Sword activates, and we try to just swing in. Of course, they do have it. There are only 6 cards left in the deck. Oh. I was not expecting that. So if I brought in the Yami Ruler, it would have only been a little bit of extra damage. Very interesting. The question is whether or not they'll choose to battle. But no, they just end. I misplayed. For sure. Unfortunate. But now I know that they're running Sword and Shield. So if I had kept an extra card around, I might have been able to win on the next turn. I am up first here. Okay. We really need a low level. But we don't get it. We will do what we can. Which is not a whole lot, to be completely honest. So, last game. What I needed to do was maintain the 1 extra card. Which would then force them to attack, and then I would have been able to survive an extra turn with the King's Majesty. We see a Tough Striker and Aim Eagle. So, a 2500 is coming in. But they actually get rid of the Aim Eagle to do it. They summon a 1500 as well, unfortunately. I was hoping it would be something a little bit weaker. That way we would have been able to keep our monster around. 1400 defense doesn't really do a whole lot when both of their monsters are able to clear it. And with a board, or with a hand like this, we are in a little bit of trouble. King's Majesty. I think we need to summon the Hermit. Activate the skill here. Now the issue is this loses to a barrier. So we have to swing into the weaker one. If they have the widespread, we do still just lose. But that is what it is. Okay, so their face down card is probably a barrier. Let's see what they go for. Grace Princess, but no Ultimate Bond. That is a good start for us. We do enjoy seeing no 3500s. But what are they going to bring in? Light Sorcerer. They pay 300 for a debuff that doesn't appear to do anything. Here comes Acebreaker. And another monster. A second Light Sorcerer. Which they are also using. Because I think the Shield and Sword does keep track of that. Yeah, unfortunately this is over 6,000, so I need to use the trap. But with the minus 600 from the Sorcerer, I actually do lose the monster anyway. Very smart play by Griffin. Another bit of an awkward hand. But if their face down card is indeed only a barrier, we might just do it. Urashima the Hermit comes in. We activate the skill. Buff it up. Shield and Sword for a 4800 Urashima. Enter battle phase, and we go for it. Will we be able to cheese a win? No, it's Sword and Shield. That is game. Our King's Majesty not able to save us here. and we just never were able to summon either of our rulers. That's quite unfortunate. We are probably not going to be, making the top cut of this event. Griffin gets the win. We're only running 4 level 7 monsters in our deck, and we just happen to draw 2 of them. Sometimes it happens. So if we go back over to the bracket, I'm sure that was very quick. And there are going to be a ton of players not yet ready to move on to the final round. Let's see what we've got. Bum, bum, bum. I think I probably could have won game number 1 if I played it a little bit differently. So it's good to know that it wasn't all just RNG. I definitely could have been a better player. But yeah, so Start GG is not loading at all. We'll see if we're able to find Twitch. Pause the music. Head on over to the browser. Oh, and thank you, Anthony. Unfortunately, I am not doing super well. Oh, hey, it's me losing. Unfortunately.
That is so unbelievably unfortunate.
I agree.
Wow. That's a 2-0 victory for Griffin.
Not much I could have... Well, in that game, there wasn't much I could have done. Game 1 was my fault. Anyway, how is the bracket progressing? I don't know which of these is even supposed to be the right one. Okay, here we go. Looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players still going. Or 12. 6 matches.
Sometimes you just want the cards, Juan. I want, for example, I have yet to buy the Sword and Shield, but I did buy the, Barrel Dragon.
I'm actually the other way around. I have the Shield and Sword one, but I haven't bought the Barrel Dragon bundle yet. So hopefully when the next box comes out, I'll finally be able to play Acebreaker. It's alright, Griffin. Thank you for the games. You deserve it. I definitely misplayed the first one. But man, I really thought that that face down card was going to be a barrier. On the first turn of the second game. And then getting hit by the Sword and Shield definitely sealed it. So here we see Luke doing regular things, beating up a Magician Shuffle. Oh, sorry about the stream buffering. That is Exis. I can definitely see it has been a rough time on my internet today. There is also this, even with the stream delay, I'm surprised it's still that bad, though. You'd think the extra 2 to 3 minutes would give YouTube time to figure it out. Oh, okay, so this is what I was thinking. Whistling Bird is running Magician's Shuffle with Ancient Arise Dragon. A lot of people are cutting it after the release of the structure deck, but I do think Ancient Arise is the way to go. Otherwise, the deck struggles to out 2,500 monsters. You do have the Light Sorcerer, but if your field is 3 Dark Magician Girls and Dark Sword Magicians, you're not able to summon the Light Sword, but you can't be off for an Ancient Arise. Wow. Set 5. Oh, but what a fantastic Inferno. Unfortunate. That is so sad. I feel like Whistling Bird had it. Oh, so from a Duel you can view all the past games. I didn't even realize.
Why is that card even limited one bundle? If you're talking about Sword and Shield, I don't think you realize if that card was free,
thank you, Zexus.
In 3, because it would be like the second best trap in the game. Top 16 is X1, and then 4-ish X2 will pop as well. So X2 is not guaranteed.
Oh, I should ask him to rig it. Private window. I wonder if Renegade was able to win. I need him to be winning for my tiebreakers. No, Renegade. How dare. Let me go here. I need to verify my login so I can actually start chatting in the Twitch chat. But of course, the internet is buffering. Hooray. Is this pre-recorded? No. There is a 2 to 3 minute stream delay. Let me go copy that over. So it's not pre-recorded, but it is going to be a bit behind. The reason I'm a couple of minutes behind is so that if anyone in the tournament is using my stream to see what cards I have, it'll be outdated information. For example, it's important which set card they hit with their removal, or which monsters they attack, since I have a lot of 1400 defense point monsters. Should be logged in now. We can close this.
No cards left in deck.
Oh.
Ain't no way.
Uh-oh.
Crush, get wipe in, and we hit the not widespread. No.
Wow. There have been a lot of deck outs. Looks like just 2-2. 2 players remaining. Justin, are you talking about ladder, or are you in the event as well? And there we go. Luckily, we're at least still connected. Right, but we should probably be taking a look over at the event. Ganchi, so it says that the two of them are still waiting. Okay. And then if we go over here, round 3. Okay. Apparently we missed an entire game. Based on the Twitch chat, which I guess you can't actually see on my screen. They're just talking about how much they enjoy Widespread Ruin. Who's the old guy on the bottom right corner? I don't think they're super old. I'm currently... So, in between rounds, we're watching the live stream from Grand Harrier's stream, so we know when the round is over. So Blitzforce, you'll want to join the Discord. Let me see. I think this one. Let me send it over on YouTube chat. So if you join that server, they run the events every Saturday. Every Sunday. Do I play Master Duel? No. I did when it came out. I played a little bit of Eldritch, but I ended up moving on to other games. Oh?
Sword and shield into triple threat thunder? Dog, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And the widespread
So, Rukarin is definitely going down.
so ready to sack.
Let's see what happens in the final game. But also let me make... Oh, wait. It looks like it might be time for round 4.
We'll go and finish him out.
I think everyone is done. But it's actually pretty hard to tell. Because, as you can see, it's not just the stream is lagging. It's that my internet connection is not really able to support this. Oh, wait. Here we go. I don't recognize this name. But we're going to view the match. Oh, and I need to make a duel room. Of course. Let's leave this one. I will check in. Head over here. Let's say hi. And then let's switch over to the Duel Links. Let's close out Grand Harrier's stream for now. Duel room, gotta make one. And we immediately get booted out. Better that our connection issues happen before the game. Head over to the chat, create a room, rush duel, confirm, check the room, copy the ID, and then paste it here. Maybe they won't even show up. That's the greatest victory of all. The free one. Round 4 to 5 X2s will top. However, Renegade did lose round 3, so my tiebreakers are probably not looking super great. Is there a way for me to view the current standings? If we, maybe the dashboard. No. Oh, standings. I did see a standings. While we wait for them to join, browser. Surely there should be 1-3-0 player. Why is this not in order of rankings? Oh, for some reason it doesn't update. It says everyone is tied in 37th place, when that is very clearly not true. It looks like they have yet to join, but they have a couple of minutes anyway. Does it cut to top 8 or top 16? See, that's what I was talking about. Like Riv said, unless I just, don't do anything. Like, if I stream the event, players are going to be able to know my deck, which does actually help during the first turn or two. And they can potentially even get things like what traps I'm running, so they know whether to play around barrier or recital or widespread, stuff like that, which can be a bit of an issue. Have they joined? No. Let me see if it says how many people are topping. I don't think it says. Okay. So, well, yeah, it works. It's just cheating. Let's see what Grand Harrier is up to while we wait. I mean, I will take the timeout win if that's what I get. Looks like they have 3 minutes. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Are they here? No. There is a chance we manage to go 2-2 without playing the final round. I am going to go get some water. I will be right back before we have to fight. And we are back. They still have not checked in. Just a minute to go. What is Harrier up to? It looks like not much either. Oh, thank you. I will do my best, assuming we even fight. But it does look like they are probably not going to be here. At this point, I'll actually be kind of disappointed if we do have to play the games, because then I have the risk of losing. Who did this player face, though?
It's definitely a rough call to make. I would have at least expected a curtain, given as a spellcaster.
They lost to Sora and Mate. How are those two players doing?
I mean, you don't know what to expect there, but you've obviously seen Recital. It's a spellcaster, so it's not...
Sora's 2-1. And I do not see Mate. Oh, he also 2-1. And it looks like we did it. My opponent should be getting DQ'd. If I understand this correctly. And I am a champion. 2-2. Now I have a chance to top. It's kind of low. I need Renegade to win. So we'll just watch the stream for this round. You all get to see the wonderfully blurry streamer streaming a streamer's stream. Oh, and we get to deal with not just my stream lagging, but me buffering the other stream. I guess I should double check that we are all good to go. I mean, it says 2-2. They were disqualified. Okay. We should be fine. So it looks like they have a 7-zone magician, which has been debuffed in some capacity.
It's not that big of a deal.
Okay, so Masaki is actually bigger than 7-zone magician now, though obviously Yami Ruler should be the one to attack first to play around any potential barriers. And you also need to clear the 7-zone magician in case it's a recital.
Tenray, just for the future, do not modify the number of players in the room. There's no need for that.
Oh, and it looks like the stream has finally fully loaded. Alright, 7-zone magician goes down as expected, but what I didn't expect was for them to actually use the delay directive. I feel like they're giving up a ton of damage in a deck that might be running 7-zone Witch. They're on Yuga and everything. So if they are able to just get around the Yami Ruler, there is no point in missing out on 2,500 free damage. Here we go, a Paku Paku Chu. Without the ability to summon level 7s, what will they use the extra card for?
Going defensive here. Can you lock down casters? Technically, no.
So they do just set 3, but what is their set card? If it's something like a Torna, I would have expected them to go in for the little bit of damage. Here comes a Kime Ruler for the 2500 direct, though. So, how is the caster player going to come back from this? Another Yami Ruler. Very interesting.
Backing directly for 2500. We're gonna leave it like that.
People are more likely to misplay it when the connection is bad. I wonder, so if the connection is bad on my end, I would actually be giving my opponent more time to think about their plays. However, on my own turn, I do have to think about the timer some more, since it's possible that they burn down my seconds while I'm not actually able to play cards. So it does probably mean I misplay a little bit more, since I'm busy worrying about making sure that the stream is functioning and everything. Oh, but a Piercing Samurai quickly finishes this round.
How bad is that hand? Clearly pretty bad.
Oh, Tomato has a Yami Ruler.
Apologize, got distracted for a moment.
Is there a way for me to view another player's match? Because this is the one I need to see. They are fighting against Wait. So the two people that I've lost against are fighting each other. So whoever wins, one of my opponents is going to be 3-1 and the other will be 2-2. Are those good tiebreakers? I'm not entirely convinced, because there might be someone like Giorfio who's 4-0. So I don't know about the tiebreakers. I guess I'm just hoping I can squeak into the top cut and then get a bunch of lucky games in a row. All we can do is wait. But that does remind me. I do want to message, Tomato.
Yami Ruler to the field. That one and pass. We're just gonna pass.
Oh, is Tomato in the tournament? I wonder.
Piercing Samurai. Masaki boosted,
I don't think so.
allowing us to now successfully pierce into a dark
Okay.
magician guard.
Huh. So are they running Dark Magician in their deck, or is it just to counter all the Magician Shuffle players? Because if so, that's very funny.
I think we're just using the Dark Magician as a cheap tribute beater. Got a certain spell. Used. To the field. We're gonna magical scream here. Double magical scream. Didn't matter what you have.
Okay.
Going in and we're
D1 is actually a pretty well-known player and pretty good. So, though I think I have actually heard of Fawn Luna as well. It's hard to know for sure who's the better player here. But D1 does have a slight advantage, I'd say. So celerity, but it is the Red Eyes version. 3900, not quite good enough. So if they have the shield and sword, even that wouldn't be enough to deal 4,000 at once. They really need to get rid of both the Witch and the Magician. Dark Sword Magician is not a huge threat, since it's just a 2500 beat stick. Dion's never gonna have the 6 spells in the graveyard that they need to make it immune to widespread. We see Seraph to swap. Alright, you see, that's the least important one, in my opinion. It also has 1500 defense, unlike the Witch.
Our Dark Magician up to 2400. We're then going to tribute offer a Kime Ruler.
I'm not sure I agree with even activating the Seraph here.
We're going to take out both of these level 7s.
I guess it saves you the 500, but leaving them with a Witch on board, ready to summon out a Magician, seems like a rough decision. Though maybe it does pay off, since now they actually need another card to be able to clear the Dark Magician Girl without crashing.
Opportunity, and Piercing Samurai is huge here. And it's going to get in for big damage.
Let me see what's going on here. Oh, alright, and goodnight, Zexus.
We will tribute off for a Yami Ruler. Also grabbing ourselves a copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon.
Alright, so 3 boss monsters, plus a lockdown from the Yami Ruler.
There is delay.
Widespread is not actually even that helpful here.
We are going to take out that Kime Ruler. They're getting dangerously low on cards in deck.
Oh, only 9 and 10.
All of our Piercing Samurai are
That is a good thing to be looking at. 9 versus... However, whoever has the offensive pressure here, so Fawn Luna is drawing 4 cards. But if they just summon a normal monster and beat over things, 3 in a row, D1 is forced to respond. And if they summon a 3900 Summons with Magician, that is a max of 2400.
it's its own summoning type, Energon. It's a maximum summon.
Let's see. Will Fawn deck out first? The issue is that a 7-zone Magician plus another 2500, or something like the Witch going up to 28 could be enough to end the game. Oh! We see a Kime Ruler. Speedy Reformer, that's only 29. And ditching an extra card from your deck at this point of the game seems questionable. They do get to put a card back, sure. But I'm not sure if the extra 400 damage is really worth it here. They're going to have no cards on their next turn.
Not enough.
The Speedy Reformer is definitely a miss. So, and, The short answer is we don't know if I am still in the tournament. I went 2-2, so there's a chance that I top. However, it really depends on how everyone else's tiebreakers come out. So if you go 3-1, you're guaranteed to be into the top cut, and then 4 or 5 of the players who make it over to the 2-2 record that I have do get to continue playing. So we have to just wait and see. I don't think my opponents have a perfect record, so my tiebreakers are not the greatest. I also went 0-2 in both of my losses, which I think hurts my chances. Compared to the players that are going 2-1 or 1-2, I suppose. As I've only actually won 2 games in this tournament. My round 4 opponent was a no-show.
Unless we can exactly lethal here.
Yeah, it's surprising that my opponent has, or that the Yuga here is actually choosing to make an offensive push.
I feel like Juan might be trolling here. Wait. No, we have lethal.
Okay. Dion gets the win. But what game was that? How many more matches do we even have?
Juan takes game number 2.
We can close this and then check out the overview. And this will show us how many more players we are waiting for. Or maybe I need to go to the bracket. Okay. Also, do we know who went 5-1? No. Very well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 sets. Oh, including Renegades, which is really the one that I wanted to see. Because these are the 2 players right here, Griffin and Renegade, that I lost to. I guess it doesn't actually matter which one of them wins. My tiebreakers should be the same either way.
Defensive here with a 1 tribute summon, clearing our hand.
So the 1 tribute is almost definitely an Umegumi, based on my knowledge of the deck. Which, into the Magician, presumably, or is it just going to be a 2400? But do they have a 3rd monster? Are they able to deal damage or not? No, it's a back row. And now we're actually still in danger of a widespread ruin. However, they actually made a pretty good play. You can see that the 7-zone Magician didn't activate its effect. And that's because there would have been a risk of it going up to 3,000 attack. And if the opponent did have a widespread ruin, the opponent would have ultimately destroyed the 7-zone Magician instead. Oh, welcome, Sunny. Hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. We see the shield and sword coming out, but what bosses are they actually summoning that makes it worth it? Yamiuler is already able to clear out the 7-zone Magician unless they have a barrier face down. I think saving the shield and sword may have been the better play. Though, if they have another monster to clear over the witch, I can at least see where they're coming from.
Maybe not.
They're testing.
Widespread is devastating here.
And they have the widespread. That is unfortunate. Leaving the 7-zone Magician alive.
Seals the deal, unfortunately.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was only turn 3. Like, the opponent, or in this case, D1, opened the widespread ruin turn 1. Which is definitely a rough spot to be in. We see Mystic Dealer coming in. But I appear to be buffering now. Okay, here it goes.
Unfortunately, just not a lot you can do about that.
do they have more boss mon? If they somehow manage to survive this turn, it would be a little bit surprising. But they're already activating the 7-Zone Magician, which means that they might not have anything to tribute summon. So, a counter widespread would be quite huge. Unfortunately, they don't have it. So, Fawn Luna, not looking great. So I guess the other thing I need to wonder is how many players, it's 4 or 5 X2s make it into the top cut, but what percentage of the player base actually is that? Like, what are our actual odds of topping? So we see there are just a couple of matches left. And they are both 2-1s. So one of them is going to be 2-2. And then, is this the same? I don't know. I guess the better way to do it would be to head over to the standings. And we're going to calculate how many people are 1-3 or lower. Oh. Taking its time to load. Kimi Ruler and Red Eyes. Is that good enough? I mean, if they clear out the board.
Unfortunately, we need to deal with our opponent going full defensive here.
Okay. So the issue is they only have 1900 left. So a fully powered 7-Zone Magician is going to be over 2000 damage, which would knock out Luna in one shot. However, they did set 2 more back row since the last time. So maybe they have some form of protection for it. Yeah, whistling over in the chat says 3 back rows that can turn it around. For sure. We're closing out this one. And okay. I don't think the standings ever loaded in. Oh, we actually have updated standings now. And I'm very low, all the way down at 22. Unfortunately, that is not going to be enough. That's already with my win calculated, so we definitely are losing here. And it says I came in 37th, which is definitely incorrect. But it's not like it matters. I did not top cut, so we are probably done with the tournament. Unfortunately. How many wait, how is a 1-2 player higher than me, though? I don't think it matters. Oh, wait, oh, because they had a bye. It's not like they made it either. Okay. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players made it. Their opponent had 56%, and mine were at 48, unfortunately. So just not good enough. And one of these is going over as well. Not sure why it's buffered here. Basically, I need my opponents to perform better in order for me to top cut. Or I could have, of course, won my own game. That would have helped too. My round 1 opponent was pretty new to the game, so I don't think they did particularly well. You can see here, 0-3. So, unfortunately, we are not going to be playing in the top cut. We could do a couple more games just regularly now, though, since we already know we're able to move on. There we go. Oh, thank you for the raid. I can't kill anyone. How are you doing today? We actually, I think, just confirmed that we did not make it into the top cut. So, pretty funny timing. But we are going to go ahead and play a little bit over on the cog ladder. Oh, welcome. 8-Bit Nezu, they are in Grand Harrier's Discord. Let me get you the link. At 8-Bit Nezu, and I'll send that. And then let's go ahead and queue for King of Games up. And of course, I immediately misclick. And we'll see how it goes. Oh, and I forgot to turn back on the music. And we actually found it, like, right away, which is nice. Alright, and we are up first, and we actually have a pretty solid opening hand. Yami Ruler plus a set Urashima is what this deck does want to do. Yeah, there is a pretty significant stream delay due to it being a tournament, but now that it's over, is there a way for me to undo the delay? I don't think so, unless it does like a big jump and everyone just skips a couple minutes. I will try it though. I'll see if I can go into the settings and turn it off. We are of course going to delay directive and pass. Okay, so settings, delay, disable, apply, and does that work? Or do I have to like restart it? I'm not sure. But how are you doing? Were you also over in the tournament? Or just playing regular Duel Links? Or what was up? It's nice to meet you. Right, so they are on 7th Axel Road, and of course, that completely gets to ignore Yami Ruler, the Dark Delayer's effect. Bum, 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 ba, ba, bum. And what a board. Fortunately, they missequenced their attacks, and I am not going to take any damage. Nezu, most played deck was just aggro, which you may have expected. Okay, so we don't actually need to use the Seahorse Carrier here. As we have 4 monsters. So let's bring in the Piercing Samurai, summon the Yami Ruler, and then we just set the others. There is an argument to set the Piercing Samurai instead of the Babysitter Goat, as Axel Road players are usually going to be on Torn of the Windweaver, which is able to flip over my monsters and cause headaches. But we'll see how it goes. Swing in, we have to clear the 7th Road Magician, and we just pass. So they are using their once per game effect here. So I don't have to actually worry about this as much anymore. If they're down to 7 Zone Magicians and can't search from the deck, the odds of finding another one is relatively low. Now the question is, how are we dealing with their back row? Unfortunately, of course, they are just going to clear right through all of my monsters. But we aren't out of things just yet. I mean, that is definitely suboptimal. But let's go ahead, set all of our cards, and see how it goes. Alright, enjoy your night. Can't kill anyone. Hope you had a good stream yourself. So with 2 recitals, we actually are able to keep one of our monsters alive going into the next turn, which should hopefully help with establishing something. Turn the Windweaver 50-50 shot for an extra 600 damage. Ultimately, nothing huge. Alright, they clear in for 1100. But that is fine. I will protect myself and keep the monster around. I could use the extra resources if I draw into any of my double tributes. And of course with shield and sword at the ready. This is about what we wanted. Okay, so how do we sequence this? I know we don't need the Piercing Samurai, but we absolutely do not need Seahorse Carrier. Since it was set on a previous turn, we aren't able to use the effect, so we can just immediately go ahead and do that. Then, Power of Determination, we're gonna buff this. And then we can use the Shield and Sword here. And I think that's correct, because we don't actually want the Kime Ruler to be on board when we Shield and Sword. So then, we set 1, 2, we perform a Tribute Summon. Fortunately, Hiroshima will eat any widespread ruins. And then 2 of their monsters only have 1,000, so the Harpy Lady can go in attack mode. Let's start in the battle phase. And the most important card to get rid of is, of course, the 7-Sword Magician. They do have a face down, and it is Widespread Ruin. Was hoping it would just be one of their other cards. Unfortunately, something like a Barrier or Corona Sparks would have meant we get in for a ton of damage. Probably like 3,000. They have the Torna on board, but that is the weakest of their 3 options, since my monsters are already in attack mode. Here comes another Witch. So the question is whether or not they hard drew the 3rd and final 7-Sword Magician. I think that's just how it goes. Not much we can do about it. And that'll finish off this game. So before, the reason I chose to play this deck in the tournament, I was actually 7-1 with it on the ladder. And it had a couple of key components that I thought would help out. First, by running Hiroshima the Hermit, we mitigate the effect of the opponent's sword and shields, or shield and swords, I mean. Since all of our monsters are gonna have solid defense. Additionally, it runs enough back row where I'm not super worried about a lone Hammer Crush ending the game. Unfortunately, against Renegade, they managed to draw the exact double hydration for my 2 trap cards that would have turned the thing around. But I mean, sometimes it's bad luck. And here is another issue. We're running the normal 7 boss monsters, so it's nothing crazy. But this is the second time today where we've just drawn all of them. Maybe we will call it a day soon. Yeah, we literally can't summon anything. I'll just go ahead and give them that one. We'll try one more. But if we're not able to get a win, maybe it is the game telling us to go log off. I'm surprised I haven't seen a Ping and Harrier server about the top cut. Surely they've moved on. Yeah, they are indeed doing the top cut matches. So how many people that I know made it? Of course Ghost made it, Xiaomi, and Renegade. Nice. Alright, our move. All we can do is summon the Yami Ruler and hope it's good enough. We need to clear our hand, so Urashima is going down too. Let's go ahead and activate the effect and pass there. They set even more back row, but they don't have anything else to do, which is a good start. Our draws are pretty solid. Getting access to the Piercing Samurai means we're going to be able to inflict some damage. And we have the Kime Ruler for direct attack as well. Hopefully this will be a good showcase of what the deck is actually supposed to be doing. Definitely want to bring in Kime Ruler here. Throw down this for later. Activate the effect of Kime Ruler, enabling a direct attack. We swing in for 2,500. And if they are actually on Aquas, we have a chance of dealing even more. No, they choose to destroy the Yami Ruler. So we deal 2,500, but they get to keep all 3 monsters. Shining City Knights. I am playing one of the very few decks that does not have a light type boss monster. Using Shield and Sword is also rough, since I think they are probably going to be running some zero defense bosses. Just like this. See how the Shield and Sword would have basically instantly ended the game here. Fortunately, this is still not lethal. However, without Shield and Sword, I don't know how we turn this around. Is King's Majesty live? Yes. Okay. Where does that get me? I have a 2,500. Oh, I can clear the Prima Guitarna, actually. That sounds pretty useful. Oh, but I don't have any of those. Okay. Yami Ruler is coming in. And I guess we have to assume they have like a barrier. So let's just swing into this. Oh, but they didn't. Uh-oh. Maybe I should have hit the Prima Guitarna. Well, okay. As long as I'm able to negate Prima Guitarna's... No, we're dead. Which means I think we will be calling it a stream. I'll let it play out. Let them finish me off. But unfortunately, Urashima the Hermit was not able to top. And by the time we get to the next tournament, it is going to be a new format. So we'll have to see what we want to bring to that. Send them a nice, and we are going to finish it off for the day. Thank you everyone who tuned in.